I'll never play this game again. All right, so the game itself is not a bad game, but some of the choices of this game were definitely something that needed to be like reevaluated. The camera was your biggest enemy in this damn game. Biggest enemy. Like, hands down, if the camera had been better, none of this would have ever really happened like that. But, yeah. Some of the level design didn't really make a lot of sense. I'm all for, like, one thing I will say I absolutely love about this game is how they hid secrets. The little twinkles and the discolored walls that leads for you to, like, actually discover things. But yeah, let me see. A lot of level design was just kind of trash. I get the whole patience thing. Oh well, we got to put the real initials now. Not my real initials, but you know what I'm saying. Not that anyone would know, other than a few people. But yeah. Hey, get your ass out of here. Damn, I ain't even cracked the top. I was close though. But yeah, I guess what I'll do is highlight this stream. I don't really necessarily know. Since I think yeah, I'll highlight it. But there's a couple different things that I could like go on and on and on about. And I'm gonna kind of go back to load game just so I can do it. Not because I want to refight the boss, because I'll stop. It just gives me a screen to talk at. That's all. Um, damn. And other people that watch this, I'm gonna have to send them this because I wasn't really thinking that I'd beat the game today, but I had an idea. I had an urge. Anyways, all right. So I talked about basically how the secrets and stuff are in this game. I think that's one of the best things I've seen out of an old game. And honestly, new games that do that, because there are some, new games that do that are pretty good about that. But they are like far and few between what we know. Um, the level design was kind of ass. And I ain't talking about the layout. I'm talking about just in general, like how they laid some of the traps and stuff like that didn't really make a lot of sense. Um, what was it? Where? What was that level? I forgot. I know the catacombs was a piece of shit. That level was just ass. We stayed on that level for so long. I thought we weren't gonna get it. Like I had people come into this stream and was like, "Hey, this is about where I got in this game," and then I had to stop playing it. I'm like, "Damn." So I beat that. The sky bridge wasn't too bad. Um, hell, the mountains took up a lot of my time. The level after the catacombs, the monastery or what? I don't know what the hell that now. I don't know. I'm not gonna like sit here and think about what the name of that level might be, but that level was kind of a pain because the way the spikes they had like swinging spike ball traps, which that's the whole reason I'm good at jumping between them now because I had to do it on that level. But they had spikes that seemingly didn't have a good rhythm to them, and I had to get past that. You had to do that like 2 or 3 times in this game. Then let's talk about the beach. The beach had fucking had all type of weird shit. You had the hydras that you really couldn't aim at. You also had the damn weird ass. I mean, the spikes themselves on that one too bad. You had the weird platforms to fly in. Um, they kind of had something like that in the catacombs, but it was different. The worst part of the beach level. Some of the secrets were off the screen, and the camera only goes but so far. Some of the jumps were kind of like terrible in that damn level, and the camera only goes but so far. You have to go up far enough to where the camera would rotate and hope that you could back up and then go back forward because the camera changes again. So you have to make sure that you wouldn't basically mess your camera up and then therefore mess your jump up, because as you can see, for anybody who's watched me play this game, camera is your number one enemy. I'm not gonna quit saying that because it's true. If your camera isn't working with you, even though you know you are coming like in platforming like you're supposed to, you will die. It's times in this level that I'm standing in where I was like coming down, jumping past lava, you know, the little flame pillars that come out the walls. And because the camera, I was moving faster than the camera, and the camera didn't catch up to me, and I died because of that. That should never be a thing. Like that, that's terrible. But the beach level, back to it. There's two major problems that I had with that level. Other than the camera, which I've already mentioned, the platforming. Why was there a section where you had to play Frogger, basically? You had to play Frogger because you had to jump across. Because, sometimes in Frogger, you was like actually in water. I've never played Frogger, I'm just going off what I've seen. So, you was in water hopping from lily pads and stuff. But in that level, you was hopping across barrels. Now, that might sound like it's easy, but it's not really that easy. And here's why. You wasn't just hopping across barrels, you was hopping across barrels that blow up. And the pattern was very random. And you could have the pattern down pat, but as soon as you jump towards this barrel and land on it, either A, it might explode not too long after you land on it, or B, as you're heading towards it to land on it, it blow up and it kills you anyways. That happened a lot. That happened way more times than I'd like to count. That should never be a thing. I'll get into what I'm talking about with that on a lot of different things. But after we got off the beach, we went on to the mountains. The first mountain level was the worst mountain level because that was the one with the snow, like the one that had a very catchy stage, background. Well, that had a very good background music with the, very regional appropriate music for something like that in a ninja game. I say that to me, that stage might have had some of the best music in the game. The first winter mountain stage or whatever. Now the second one wasn't too bad, but I'm gonna stick to the first one. The first one, I really didn't have as much as I'd like to have later on after I learned some of the patterns, but I will say y'all turned the level into damn Mario at some point. Because dodging flame pillars with like split second timing on it was kind of a pain in the ass. A real big pain in the ass in that level was basically how the terrain breaks. And sometimes, you like, oh, well, I could just hang on the edge. So you lightly try to, like, when I tried to make the jumps in this level, on like, when I was doing the boat, well, not even the boulders. When I was climbing up certain edges in this level and I was like barely on the platform, them type of jumps. That's what I'm talking about. But, anyways, it was a lot of breaking terrain in that level. That level was pretty damn long, too. And I don't like how long that level was because it was just a pain in the ass to play after a while. I mean, yeah, I locked in and beat it at some point, but I just can't lie to you. That shit was. If it weren't for the background music, I probably wouldn't have beat it. Because, hey, that sounds like some shit you listen to if you're trying to make like a Japanese or like just flat out Asian, freestyle beat or whatever. That level sound like it would be one. But, anyways, um, it was traps in that level, and of course, the camera was not your friend. Avalanches, because having to jump back and forth across different parts of the level that broke off because the avalanches was like a piece of work in itself. Because, like I said, sometimes the camera doesn't go out as far as you need it to go, so you have to inch your way towards the edge of the level or ledge of the platform that you're on to hope to see the next platform you jump to. That should never be a thing. That really like made that pretty fucking annoying. Um, some of the traps in that one too bad outside of the terrain. The terrain was the worst thing about that level, and how many enemies they threw at you with no health was like the worst. You fighting eagles, you fighting archers, which were basically samurai, because that's what they were. They were big ass samurais with bows, and some of them had swords, but the ones that had bows too were like a pain in the ass. Because something that a lot of people don't know, samurais used a lot of bows, so I mean that was pretty accurate there. Um, the ninjas weren't really just that annoying. Um, other than the terrain and the enemies, that level just was it was just a pain. But yeah, the second mountain level, the one that I had to go to before I got to this level, it wasn't as bad as the first one. The one thing that really like pissed me off about that level was some of the weird ass decisions when it came to like obstacles for you to go through. Like that whole room that had the rotating damn platforms that flip and stuff. Man, that I don't know who thought about that and the pattern for it, but they are like totally assholes for that. Cause you have the pattern and then the pattern to flip into something weird. You have to die a couple times on that part of the level just to try to like beat it. And it's like if you didn't memorize the pattern, you will die 1,000 times on that level. And that's it shouldn't be like that. That's why in certain instances I damage run past certain things. If I can get away with it, I'll damage run through it. So, because I mean, that negates a lot. If you don't fall into the abyss on that part and you actually can stand on the platform and you don't hear, ah, then you good. You just go ahead and go forward. But, that part there was like the worst part. That one, the damn DK barrels, because yes, you played Donkey Kong on that level. Because let's just be honest, that was literally straight out of the original, you know, DK game where Mario was jumping over barrels, going up the, girders to save. That was Pauline. Yeah, that was Pauline to save Pauline. So That's what that was. Now the pattern was easy to catch, but sometimes because of the way that the barrels bounce and the way that this game and its slopes work, you wouldn't always make it over them damn barrels, and you could have the pattern recognized. Hell, I had the pattern recognized. It was four barrels, then it stopped for a second, and it'll start over. And not to mention how sometimes they would randomly blow up. That shit, that was annoying in its own, but it wasn't worse than the whole flipping spike platform thing. The other nuisance about that level there, the other nuisance was basically the mine carts. They weren't too bad, but you know, it's times where I had the pattern for that too. And you can't see like, all right, so you kill all the enemies around that first little area where the track is, and you're like, okay. You jump on top of the first mine cart. First off, to anybody playing this game, don't do that. Don't do that. Wait for the second one. You wait for the second one because if you jump on the first one and you go forward, when you reach the edge and have to jump over to the other mine carts, you can't land on the tracks because you fall through it. So that's one. Two, the mine carts can run over you and kill you. And three, the timing will be off. So you won't make it to the mine cart. You will make it to the abyss. So I didn't really care for that part of the level. The little mini boss was a nothing burger because after you figure out the pattern, you figure out how far over to the side that you could stand and you could throw at that guy or just, wait till he does his little shockwave attack and you kill him. He was a nothing burger. The level itself was harder than anything and yeah, that's without saying. But yeah, the Ambu Black ninjas in that damn level there were pretty fucking annoying. Those are the worst ninjas in the game. It's like, well, these are the highest tier. They were pretty fucking smart. You have to like trick them ninjas there, cause frankly, they knew what they was doing. They was like, shit, lure him over here. Go ahead and get him over here. Get him over here. I'm basically gonna go ahead and kill him. We're gonna need to throw at him. Y'all gonna run at him. Them ninjas there was smart as hell, and I didn't really enjoy them. I kind of liked messing with them when I figured it out. I liked that they had barrels next to everything, but other than that, I that's pretty much it for that level. The terrain was the worst. The camera in that instance was the worst. Oh, and one more thing. Them damn platforms at the end, because of the camera, you also kind of had like one more spinning platform level, like part of that level, and that was the worst because you had only what a few platforms to jump between, but they made the pattern so damn long that if you didn't have any type of memory of it, you basically were done for. One hit a damn spin for I don't know how long, and you just have to wait. And it's like, okay, and then you jump towards the other one. Then the other one spin for like a while, then you have to jump back. And I'm like, oh my god. Whoever just thought of them patterns for that whole level, just I don't understand what you were doing. I know you were trying to be clever. This game was not the game to be clever with those type of platform challenges, knowing that the camera ain't that great. You have to look at it at a certain angle and be like, okay. And like I said, the camera in general. But all right, so we get past that and we land in this level. This level here was mostly a nuisance for a couple different reasons. The reasons were as followed. The camera. The camera will get you killed. When I'm the simple part of this level, which was riding on a little Ralph, dodging the hands, can be made to be like a pain in the ass just because the camera. You could stand in the middle of that platform and still not see certain hands where they sit. You can be like, oh well, I'm away from that hand. I should be able to jump and dodge it sometimes. Well, not quite, because you might be dead center, but the hand might be right there where you're gonna like where you're sitting, and you wouldn't know it because the camera is not turned in the proper fashion for that. You might be too far over to the left and can't see the hands over on the right side, or vice versa. That shouldn't be a thing. Another thing, these little demon things in this level that's like jumped out the lava. I hated them. I hated them so much because basically they do what the ninjas in the last snow level did. They basically blocked, and this game, which I'll say it, punishes you for damn near everything. If an enemy blocks your attack in this game, and I'm talking about the kunais, and I'm talking about like any kunai, whether it's the basic kunai that isn't powered up, so the ones that aren't glowing, or the powered up kunai that's glowing with lightning around it, where you have either the single or level 4, which is basically this. That that kunai there, man, I gotta say it. Them blocking that and you see your health just diminish. It's the worst thing in the world. Any enemy that does you like that in this game, it's just a pain in the ass. I'm just not even gonna lie. So that is annoying. Some of the platforming in this level is just like a pain in the ass. Like, you have to wonder why you have to dodge like flame pillars and then go up to this side, get this key, come right back down them flame pillars, and then go forward. You have to wonder why they made you do that. Because to me, it's too much. It's too much. Um, the boulder section of this level was the absolute worst part of this level. Because you can have the pattern. There's been times where I've had the pattern and I just could not cross. You have the pattern down, you know it. Okay, hey, the first boulder's rolling off, the second one will follow afterwards. Okay. First off, you let that far. Like, you don't want that pattern because it will knock you into the abyss. And second, even after you learned that pattern, I hated how the game switched it up. You can't use the camera to look far ahead. So and I know somebody like, well, you could kind of like angle your jump. No, you can't. I've done it. Certain people probably could, but they were basically getting lucky. Because if you play shallow, you're going into the abyss. Um, that was the absolute worst part of this level. The one part of this level outside of that was the floating platforms that bounced up and down, and you have to cross. And you had to go to the third one and go all the way up in the air and unlock like the plate and get the keys and cross back over to the other one that does the same thing. That one was kind of annoying too, but after you learn what to do, it's fine. I kind of hated waiting on those dumbass platforms going up and down, up and down, up and down. Sometimes they swerve you and you end up in the lava. But anyways, after that, your little section where you dodging the spike balls and you dodging the lava that comes out of those damn lava spires that come out the ground and erupt. That there was no way for you to really get away from those, and I don't understand why they did that. But it's whatever. You know, after you figure out the patterns, okay, you deal with the little demons and keep progressing. Then you deal with the swinging spike balls, whatever. You go past that and get past spike balls, and then you go back to the other sections where you get trapped into you not being able to dodge them stupid things again. You just kind of have to eat the damage. So really, you have to die in a lot of different parts of this level just because they didn't consider letting you evade those in a proper way. Some of the jumps on this level kind of weren't that great because, again, the camera. The camera was terrible. You looking at the stuff and you're like, man, I can't really tell from this distance if I'm gonna make that. That was a big problem throughout this game, and I'm not ashamed to say it. And I know people probably coming in looking like you ain't playing. I know. I've already beaten the game. Anyways, um, that was a big problem. The fact that you go to the next section, dodge two spike balls, and after you dodge the first one, you trapped and can't really do anything about the erupting lava that comes out. Whatever. That was a piece. That was just I don't know what they were thinking. Um, Dealing with the demons at that part were kind of annoying, but whatever. The little cheese it, Trisket. I'm gonna say burnt Trisket platforms because that's what they look like, burnt Triscuits. That part wasn't too bad. Just getting trapped around the demons though were pretty annoying. All right, the part with the bridges, the light bridges, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be because I picked up on the pattern pretty good. So I actually don't hate that part. But the part that follows with like all the going up the platforms and then you know waiting on the platforms to go back and forth between like the flame pillars. That wasn't too bad. But the crushers that came afterwards were just like a piece of shit. I'm just not even gonna lie. That was too much, and I don't know why they thought that was cool, especially with this terrible camera. The spinning spikes after that weren't too bad, but again, the camera will get you. So I really don't have much to say about that. I know the blue flame little parts weren't too bad at all. The boss of this level though was just a piece of shit because frankly, I'm not even gonna lie. Unless you played it and just kind of like really comprehended the fact that you needed to stay on that guy, you would die all the time. Why the hell does he have a shockwave attack that goes halfway across the screen as soon as he does it? Like it's almost at you as soon as he does it. Why is that a thing? You have damn near no time to jump over that. It's been times where I've seen that coming and still couldn't jump over that. Even though I know the timing, but you just couldn't jump over it. And it's crazy, but yeah. If I just hadn't a damage ran that boss battle, I would have never beat that guy. I'm just not even gonna lie to you. I watched shout outs to this person on YouTube, Kawaii Games, and I kinda was like, huh. But they didn't do exactly what I did. They even like backed out and let shockwaves happen. And I'm like, okay. That guy played the game like they knew it. Like like the back of their hand. So they probably played this game 1,000 times to be able to play as well as they did. So kudos to them. But yeah, last boss, I mean, you had to save all your magic for him. He wasn't bad at all. Really, the guy that I fought beforehand was the worst. Now, I know I spammed the hell out of whatever. I wasn't really worried about dying completely to the last boss. That's why, if I didn't look up anything on this game, I probably would have, been like, oh, hey, I'm shit out of luck. But no, kudos to the person that said, hey, save all your magic because you're going to need it for the last boss. That was not a lie. It's funny because that same guy said they could not beat the last boss because they ran out of magic fighting the boss of this stage. And when they got to the last boss, they couldn't beat him legit. They used cheat codes to beat that boss. Ironically, I didn't. So kudos to me for not doing that. Anyways, the last boss was a bit of a joke just because, you use magic. He wasn't the worst thing in the world. I saw, like, if I got hit I saw how to use the invincibility frames. So, whatever. He turned into the little Melina ball rolling around on the floor. That's cool. You're supposed to throw a bomb down. I read up on that through the official strategy guide, which I like the look of it, but I really didn't look at too much on that. I kind of like figured it out through the use of dudes play through Kawaii games. I figured it out through that for certain levels, but other levels I just kind of like locked in and finished. But the last boss was a joke. Getting to the last boss was the worst thing in this game. Like I said, the camera was your worst enemy of this game because you shouldn't have to inchworm your way over edges and ledges to make the camera turn and face the proper direction so you can see what's ahead of you. That should never be a thing. This game never gave you enough food to like deal with anything sometimes. Why do you have to die and then the food that you needed before you died spawns once you respawn into the level and you have full health? Why is that a thing? That should never be a thing in a game, but this game loved to do you like that. This game trolled you every step of the way, and I hated it because of that. Um, I already said the level design because I really gotta wonder, did they hate the people they were working for? Because you know some of the things that they either they hated the people they worked for or they hated kids. Because if kids were supposed to beat this game, I don't understand how a kid would adapt to some of the shit that this game throws at you. They have to be the most patient kid in the world, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Back in the day, I wasn't. It got better as time went on. I wasn't one of those people that cry and have to get put off their own video game console back in the day. Um, that stopped after about what primary school? What's up, Lakafume? That stopped after like primary school. So yeah. Oh, you'll have to rewatch this. I've already beaten this. That's why the game's paused. Um, but yeah, I'm just giving my grievances because I said I would. You have to wonder if they hated making this game or if they hated the kids that they were making this game for, or hated anybody. Because I mean, you had adults to play this back in the day, and it's like whoever played this game had to be like, man, I fucking hate. I know they snapped many copies of this game's disc in half back in the day in rage. I guarantee you they did, just because of how annoying this game can get to be. And man, it don't make sense. It's like the whole title of this stream is what helped me beat this game today. And I'm not running off of much sleep. I came home, took a nap, because if I just played this off of very little like sleep, I wouldn't even beat this game today. I'm still running off a little sleep, but I'm a little rested. That's all. Um, so we have the food spawn thing, we have the level design thing. Camera it was the worst thing ever. Oh yeah, for sure. Some of the boss, what was it? The boss of the first, because I didn't mention it. Some of the bosses were just like, what am I supposed to do? Um, why on the beach level did y'all send out crazy E Honda, knowing that that level had crazy things like you walking down the damn bridge and the damn orb of death, because that's literally what it was. The orb of death busts through the bridge and you try to outrun it. You zigzag it so that you can get away from it, but ultimately you couldn't outrun you couldn't outrun that shit sometimes. It would literally stay on you and kill you, and then it would never respawn, but that's just something that this game did. Just like some certain treasure chests. Certain treasure chests, after you looking for health, was like the worst thing ever. Why are you opening treasure chests and basically either you have the fire surprise where it just blows up immediately. The spikes, I mean, you could kind of see like the chest shake and know that it's like spikes and get the hell away from it. Sometimes you didn't always have somewhere to get the hell away from it at, but I get it. That one was easy to kind of deal with sometimes. Why the hell is there certain treasure chests where you open it and there's like orbs and you're like, oh shit. If it was fire orbs, you had a chance to live sometimes. Other times it just flat out kill you. If there were like blue fire orbs, you're automatically dead. Because in certain areas like the mountain level, I had that little secret section that I jump across, and it was like 4 treasure chests. 3 of them were good. One of them had like the stars for you to get to continue, so up your points. The other one had a bomb. And I'm talking about a bomb you could use. The other one had a scroll, and then the last one had the death trap that I'm talking about that would follow you and kill you. Why is that a thing? If you didn't have to die so much in this game to learn, because that's literally part of this game, you have to die so much in this game to learn. And it shouldn't be that way. It's like you could be playing 100% good, but then the level goes, hey, you ready? You're like, what you talking about? Am I ready? And then it kills you. Whether it's the terrain, the camera combined with the terrain, or random trap, or just some cheap shit that the enemy does, because that happens too. It's been times that I shouldn't have got killed, that I got killed. Enemies block everything, like they input reading sometimes. They're like, oh, well, I know what you're going to do. And then, not just that, you'll have an attack before them. And next thing you know, oh, hey, they threw out an attack and interrupted your attack, even though they were moving. If they're moving, they shouldn't be able to block you. Like, they shouldn't be able to block you because they're moving. That's how that works. That's how that works in most games. That's how that works in fighting games. You can't block and move at the same time unless you just defend. But yeah, that should never be a thing in this game. But as you can see, it happens a lot. And something I really have to say, why was there so many different ways to take your health in this game? Okay, let's go forward. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna show something. Something that we really didn't get a lot to see. And I'm gonna see if the weapon is right here so I can show it off. Okay, so alright. Okay, we get it. Also, the fact that certain enemies know how far to walk away from you, and they just spin like this shit right here because they know you can't hurt them, is ridiculous. Look at that. It's ridiculous sometimes. I'll prove it. But anyways, let's see. We're gonna prove that. What I'm talking about. Watch this. What the hell are they doing? Why is that a thing? Why is that? You can't hit them. They just troll spin you constantly. Why is that a thing in your game? And for instance, it's been times I've had to jump over edges. And enemies are sitting there doing that right at the edge that I have to jump to. They're waiting on you, or they're doing that shit. They're just punching, swinging, waiting for you to go ahead and jump. Because they're like, yeah, if you jump, you're dead. If you jump, you die. But I have to get over it. You jump, you die. That should never be a thing. But you see it. You see it. Why is this a thing? So then you go forward, and then they stop. You back up, and what happens? They go back to it. So you go forward, they stop. He automatically blocks. Look at that. He's ready for it. So then he catches you to the side. Okay, whatever. Alright, cool. Okay, whatever. Beat the enemies. I'm trying to get to the point. get to a different point, and I'm gonna explain the biggest gripe I have with this game. The biggest gripe, other than the camera, because I mean, the game's already demonstrated why I hate the camera right here. Why am I? This platform's little as shit, little as hell, but the camera cannot compensate for the platform. Hold on, let me get my thing down in case anybody says. Yep. Alright. I'm trying to make it to the next part so I can explain the biggest secret that no one really probably even knew about this game. I'm gonna explain it. Okay. So I have my little. Remember, I said something about how they block. If you don't catch them moving, they will block the hell out of you. Look at dude, he's troll spinning. I just said to him. Look, that right there. They're smart enough to block from several different angles. That's poison. The game likes to psych you out with poison. Do y'all have it? Oh, they don't have it. Okay. I'm trying to get to the point to where they give me something. Because it's going to be a really good point to expand upon. So I'm going to get there. Trust me, I'm going to get there. It's the biggest thing that most people don't know about the game. And I wouldn't know about it because, you know, it's not told. Back in the day, we had to read I mean, I hate to show my age, but yeah, we had to read to learn things about games. Read the instruction manual, but that's why we spend so much time looking at the back of cases and at the instruction manual way home with the game, the new game. That's why. People bitch about, oh, pictures old. This that I have in my hand is a weapon. Why? Alright, so why? The biggest thing, most people are like, well, what's the point of weapons in this game if you can't do anything with them? You know, you get your little swipe. That's cool. But you can do something with these weapons. I'm gonna demonstrate it. Hold on. This right here. Hold on, let me make sure they flat while I'm trying to demonstrate it. You know, the game hates me, even after I beat it. So, why is this a thing to where you know, you could do that, but what did you notice, Chad? What did you notice? You know, hey, oh, that's cool, that's great. Every weapon has a charge. Every weapon has a special technique they can do. But one thing, I want you to look at something. What just happened? What did you notice? I'm gonna do it again. What just happened? Alright, so what just happened is this. Yeah, you charged a weapon, and yeah, you did the attack. Some of those weapons have great attacks, wonderful attacks. That would be cool. That would be wonderful to use. But you know why you never seen it till now? Because it steals health for you to do it. Look how much health it took. Let's do it again. You willing to risk that much health to do something that's beneficial, but you might get interrupted? you might get interrupted and not be able to do it, knocked into the lava, or just like iframe to the edge of the stage, and then you try to do it again to, do a weapon. I mean, I get that they didn't invent MP bars, but bro, they probably was like, how do we separate that? Separate what? Well, you have magic attacks with weapons, but what should we do? Steal their health. Are you sure? Yes, take their health. That defeats the point of having a weapon in this game. It's you have flails, you have scythes, you have axes, you have a katana, and you have this that's called the Ultimate Ninja Sword. The katana is called the Ninja Sword. This one's called the Ultimate Ninja Sword. Some of them have great attacks, like crowd clearing attacks that could get a whole swarm of enemies off you. But you know what? Unless you just happen to hold this button here, you would never even know that you that and the fact that it steals health from you just to do it. Just to do it is the reason you didn't see a lot of that in this game. Now, that combined with the fact that the game didn't even throw enough health for you to like, you know, hope to survive after doing that. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna rip through this stage. Yeah, I got the ultimate ninja sword. Yeah, it don't matter. If you don't have the health, whatever. And then you die and you lose your weapon anyway. So it's like, what's the point of having these weapons other than. Because it does help. Like it helps a lot for you to have a weapon. And those four bars that's in the lower right hand screen, they're great. That matters a lot. If you have a weapon and you have no bars, it's a greater damage boost. But the fact that you have all four, you hit an enemy like once or twice and they're gone. As you see me do in this game. Yeah, that would have been a better idea. But, basically, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So, that's like the biggest disappointment of this game. You're like, oh man, I got this cool ass sword. That cool ass sword ain't gonna help you, even if you figure out how to use it. And the whole reason I even figured out how to use like special weapon attacks is because I watched the demo after I gamed over. Remember, we sat there and I constantly, like, for people that popped into the stream, the times I game over it and it showed the demo. Or, you know what? Let's let's quit the game and watch. Let's just watch. We're gonna talk about it. Let it run through its demo real quick. And you'll notice something. Not this, but when they actually show the character moving around. I guess this is back in the guy's village. We don't even know where the hell this is. Anyways, only reason I even knew how to do weapon attacks is because of this. This right here. And I mean, I love the little screens. I love the loading screens. I know it took forever back in the day. But, yeah. This shit here. And this is even how you find out most of the secrets in the game. Now he's getting attacked by me. Whatever. They ain't showing no one. But you see him throwing at the sparkle. So that's how you find out sometimes. Oh, hey, well, there might be stuff there. That's why you see me throwing that stuff so much in this game. Like I said, I love how they hid stuff in this game. I absolutely love it. I wish modern games did that. Because it was so subtle. It was like a subtle way of hiding things. And I don't know if they're gonna like show the other level or whatever, we're gonna let it cycle through again. But the fact that A, you can get out, I mean, unless you just a curious individual like me, you wouldn't know half of this stuff. And I know somebody's probably like, man, that man, I don't know why he's just sitting here ranting. Why isn't he playing the game? Anybody who comes in at any point of this game, right now, I've already beaten the game. But anyways, here we go. Let's see if they show it. Is this it? I think so. Yeah, this is it. Give him a weapon. Okay, he has a weapon. You would never know that unless you've seen that. And you'd probably be like, how the hell did he do that? That's your mask. You don't want to use too much unless you get more. It's so scarce that you can't use it. It's a couple different things about this game that just didn't make sense. You didn't spawn food. So let's take it from the top. You didn't spawn enough food. You didn't. The level design was ass in so many aspects. The camera was an overall worst part of this game. The behavior of some of the enemies was like absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And you have weapons, but you couldn't do anything with them most of the time. So it's a combination of things that would make somebody absolutely, yeah, definitely recommend this game to your enemies. Here's what I'll ultimately end up saying about this game. The game is not completely a bad game. And here's why. There's some things that I absolutely love about this game. Like I said, I love how the game hid stuff from you. But it hid it in such a clever way that if you were like curious anyways, you would discover it. Having an off-colored wall for you to throw something at, and you see the wall flash up, you're like, wait, what? It flashed? Let me do that again. So having that as a thing was cool. I love that. Having walls blow up, understand how far your wall blows up. Because if you're too close to it and there's a pit nearby and you blew up a wall, you're flying right into it. That in itself was kind of weird, but I love how they hit things. I like the charm that this game has, but there's so many different things about this game that makes it terrible. So it's like unless you have supreme patience, and remember, one of the names here is IDOS. What did IDOS make? Tomb Raider. What did Tomb Raider have a lot of? Precision platforming. If you didn't think about the fact that you have precision platforming at all times in this game, you're going to hate every step of the way of playing this game. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, because no one is going to really, you know, break it down as much as I am. There's a lot of people who have showed up to different streams of me playing this game, and I could tell you they only made it but so far. Some of them only made it 6 stages in. I forget how many stages this game has because of how long it's taken. I mean, you could look up on, what is it, archive.org? You could look up the official guide for this game and count how many stages it has. You could actually look at some of the commentary on what they tell you to do in the game. And it's like, you have to wonder, what were they thinking? What were they thinking? Did you hate who made you make this game? So, core design and IDOS, did some of those people hate the people who made them make this game? Or did y'all hate the kids that were ultimately gonna play this game? Because there's certain Nintendo games back in the day that were the same way. Was it LJN or whatever? The one with the rainbow on the cartridge? They were notorious for some of the most awful mechanics put in the game, and they were supposed to be, the Nintendo seal of approval, that whole big thing. And I'm like, how did even some of these games get made? Because I don't understand how kids were supposed to beat them. I know, right? No quality control. Just put the game. Well, some companies had quality control, and you wasn't getting to put certain games on that platform with that. But it wasn't a real big thing for sure in some of those companies. It was like, yeah, just put it out. Because there's certain secrets you watch about Friday the 13th. And you're like, how the hell were you supposed to know that as a kid? You're a little kid playing Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. This game has certain things that you just wouldn't know unless you have the jewel case and instruction manual to go to this game. And it's like, dude, why is that a thing? Let me go back into it because I know somebody's probably like, man, why you ain't doing it? It's all right. Stick with me. Use your attention span to stick with me. Trust me, we'll get somewhere. But I'm gonna wrap up on certain things. I know. Hold on. We'll look at the level. Anyways, it's kind of funny that they put us right back here. This is actually the first level, I think. But anyways, so to wrap up and summarize what I'm saying, because after I beat this game, I pretty much went into rant because I said I was gonna do it. But I'm gonna summarize this, and I'll probably put this on YouTube. The game is not the worst thing in the world, but if you do not have patience to play this game, you will not make it through this game. You will only make it but certain stages into this game. I do recommend people playing this if you want to piss yourself off. If you just want a good old school challenge and you want to be angry at yourself and the world and everything will piss you off for the rest of the day when you think about this game, please play it. If you just want a really hard video game from, retro, please play this game. It has a learning curve. The learning curve is on you to an extent. Now, certain levels in this game just make it to where the learning curve is something else. The level design of certain levels of this game were just too much. I don't see how kids were supposed to play this. And yes, I was a kid who played this on the blue PlayStation demo disc back in the day. Some of you got it from Pizza Hut, some of you might have got it from a magazine. Yes, it had Soul Reaver on the demo disc too. Yes, I'm showing my age. Anyways, so let's go take it from the top. The worst things in this game: level design, because there's certain things you can't. I know, right? The old are not to be confused with the weak. You're right about that. Anyways, the level design was terrible. How they spawned food was absolutely and utterly terrible in this game because why do I need health now after I've died and you give me the health that I needed before I died? Why that should never be a thing. Certain areas of this game just didn't make sense. Why are you playing Frogger on exploding barrels on a river? And you have to do that. Something this game likes to do is repetition. You gotta do it twice, so you better be nice. You have to do certain mechanics in levels twice. So you be like, oh well, I'm glad I got over that part. Got over that part. Was it the first time or the second time you done it? What was the point of having weapons in this game if you couldn't use them, and the game had so many different ways to punish you that it did not reward you enough? There was no real balance on that. Certain times it was RNG to where you got a bunch of help. You got a bunch of, respawns on your stuff right there, which was like your L2 magic, which is just you throwing the bomb down, and then your R2 magic, which was the big magic where either you'll spin around throwing, kunais powered up, or either he'll do the whole lightning thing where he has the power Highlander and shock everything around him. I don't know what dictates you doing that. I don't know if there is a tail. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Anyways, there was no point in that. Resources were too scarce. And last but not least, the camera will be your worst, absolute worst enemy every step of the way in this game. Certain times the camera will not turn like you need it to turn to progress forward. That will get you killed 1,000 times and will ultimately either A, oh yeah, for sure. But the fact that you have to inchworm your way and then the camera will turn, but you might be like, hey, let me back up because I need to make this jump. And the camera turns again. Oh my God. And then you have to inchworm your way back. What if you don't want to be patient enough? What if you don't, like, you just want to blitz your way through this level, but you blitz and you don't make the jump because the camera didn't adjust? So, yeah, that was that's something. Early cameras did suck because Super Mario 64's camera was like absolutely terrible. And I don't care how much people talk about it, that's one of the greatest video games of all time. That camera was ass. And I'm many people who will tell you that, who grew up with that game when it first came out as a kid. But, anyways, all in all, play this game at least once because, it's worth playing. Whether you stick with it or not, I don't know. It will like reward you for sticking with it, but only if you have the patience. The name of this stream for anybody on YouTube, because I'm gonna put this video up. I'm gonna put this video up on YouTube. They're like, why you only got one video of this game? Because this game took a lot of my soul to make, and I didn't. No one suggested at the time for me to like make an archive channel to throw the videos up on. It was too late. It was too late. It was suggested late. Oh yeah, you'll have to watch this later. I'll throw. You can either watch it here or on the archive channel. But yeah, it's been beat. I've been ranting for like an hour. But anyways, or maybe longer than an hour. Appreciate that, Utina. But yeah, all in all, play this game at least once so you can say you played it, whether you stick with it or not. Oh yeah, I already know, but I just never wanted to do that because I didn't want to eat up space. But yeah, whether you stick with this game or not, give it a try. You may like it. It'll grow on you. It's great when it grows on you, but it's absolute hell when it doesn't. I've named off the several different reasons. I'm not gonna reiterate. But yeah, to all who watch this video, I hope you enjoy the pain. If you stick around for the rant, you'll hear some useful information. But to anyone who's curious about this game, play it. But keep the things that I said in mind for this game. Let me give some shout outs before I go for the people who showed up. So, Lakafume, play this game. You played some crazy games yourself. Play this game. Play this game. It don't matter if you stick with it. Just play it. You might actually like it in the long run. As crazy as that sounds, you might like it. It don't matter if it's just for 5 minutes and you or till you game over. Play it just once. I recommend it just once. It don't matter if you stick with it. Just play it just once. But yeah, shout outs to y'all. Appreciate you tuning for the gift subs. You'll enjoy because you can be like, man, you was locked in this game. But here's what I'll do. I'll separate this into two things. I'm gonna chop the footage and chop the ending and throw the ending up on YouTube. And then I'll throw the rant up about this game in a separate video. So that way people can get what they want to see out of the game and be like, oh man, he did a masterful job of beating that game. But yeah, I'm not Kawaii Games. Shout outs to that guy. He did a masterful job of playing this game. He's got a playthrough where he like sucked at it, and then he's got a playthrough where you're like, man, this man knows everything that's coming. How much did he play this game? That's the guy to go look up and see this game if you want to see this game masterfully played. I don't know if he, might have had tool assisted, speed run or whatever on. I don't know. I just know the dude did a great job. But anyways, appreciate y'all for watching. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow with some game. Now, here on the 17th, there is a game that comes out on PC that I want to play. I'm gonna try to do what I can to play short games until that game comes out. But yeah, I'll see y'all with a new game tomorrow. As always, appreciate y'all for watching. Watch the VOD so you can see the end of the game. But yeah, holla at y'all later.